Thoughts on what you saw today?
I thought it was good. Thought it was competitive, relatively clean. It was a couple turnovers, had an interception and had a fumbled exchange. But besides that, thought it was clean. There wasn't a lot of penalties. I think we had a false start and offsides. But to play as 80 plays, whatever it was that we played, and to play as clean as we did was encouraging. Thought the defense played with some confidence, and thought they played physical and played with some emotion and excitement. It was encouraged to see that. I told him afterwards, thought we gave up too many big plays on defense. I think that was the deal. We got to improve. We can't give up those big plays, and felt like offensively, we didn't execute very well. We were not as consistently as we needed to. Some guys made a couple of individual plays, but we got to be able to execute better than we did. And it wasn't the best conditions, but we got to come out and work through that stuff. We can't let that affect, our performance and our mentality. But I thought it was a good competitive day overall.
Where have you seen the team make the most progress in these first?
Well, I think defensively, the last two practices, I think we've looked good. Our guys have, everything's tighter. The coverage is tighter. They're playing, breaking on the ball better, fitting things better. Just starting to play aggressive and starting to play faster. I don't think they're trying to process as much as they were before. I think they're, playing now. Have a better base and they're playing faster and playing more physical.
Coach, there was a high hit on Ben. I know he's wearing a green jersey. What are your thoughts on the play?
I didn't really see it. That's just guys compete. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. So we'll look at it and see, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
You got Will Jeanless working at linebacker now. What led to that move, and what do you think of his first few workouts?
I thought he did some good things today. He showed up a bunch in the scrimmage, and so we'll take a look at it and kind of see. He's got some length, and if he can play physical, and I think it's probably a little bit better position for him. We'll see how he continues to progress.
Brady Welch got carted off. Is there any update on his status yet?
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't heard anything yet. Good thing was it wasn't a knee. I think it was more of a hamstring type thing, so that was encouraging.
A year ago, Casey Medlock moved over from running back to corner, I guess mostly because of injuries at the time. You've left him on defense. Now you've got him at safety. What do you think of him at that position?
Yeah, I was talking to him earlier, and I think he's starting to get comfortable there. I think that it fits his skill set. I think it's what he can do, and we've got to put him someplace and let him develop and get familiar with playing the position, learn the technique, learn how to play. Safety's a tough position to play in college football now. You've got to be able to cover, you've got to be able to run, you've got to be able to support the run, you've got to be able to tackle. All the different things guys have to do, and he's a good athlete, and he's got a good frame of mind right now, and he's one of those players I anticipate to get better every day. He's athletic enough to play the position, and I think he's starting to get more comfortable there.
What have you some of your pleasant surprises in spring practice?
Oh, I think it's been. There's been a lot of guys. There's just so many guys that we didn't really have expectations for. So, taking over a program, you don't really have a fixed mindset that much about what you expect to see. I can't point anybody out specifically, just because I didn't really have a ton of expectations for certain guys. But I feel good about some positions. I think we're improving across the board. As I said, specifically on defense, as the guys start to get a little bit more settled and a little bit more familiar. And I thought we've tackled well. I think that's been probably the biggest surprise. It's not necessarily a person; it's more of a characteristic. And I thought we've tackled well. I think we're starting to try to play more physical up front. Tell our players all the time, and we've got to win the line of scrimmage to be the kind of football team we want to be on both sides. And you're starting to see some progress there. So, I've been pleased with what I've seen, especially this week, in just terms of guys starting to figure some things out and play faster.
What have you seen out of Richard Moore so far through camp?
He made a ton of plays today. I think that's what stands out is just you can tell he's starting to play faster. He's a guy that's physically can do some things for you. He's got a lot of explosiveness in his hips and some strength and suddenness. I think he's got pretty good instincts, and he showed up a lot today, and that's what you want to see from a guy playing that position.
What are you seeing in the new players on the offensive line? You like it?
Yeah, I like what I've seen. We got to get more consistent up there. We've had some guys injured and a little bit banged up, but I think Nick has done a good job. He's got some size, he's got some strength. He probably needs to lose a little bit more weight, get in a little better shape, and he will. And Levon's just kind of the opposite. I mean, he's in the 270 range. He needs to get up a little bit weight-wise. They're both learning. I think they're both probably ahead of where we thought they would be at this point. Excuse me. So I think both of them are doing some good things. Trevor Denbo's been really solid for us. A really good addition from a junior college standpoint. So excited about those 3 kids from Navarro. I think they can all 3 help us and have a chance to be starters.
Levon played mostly on the right side today, but he's gotten some reps in the spring on the left as well.
Yeah, we started him over on the left side, and we're going to move him over to the right and leave him and let him develop. I think that's the idea, is to let him develop over there and get through spring football, and then we'll kind of make an evaluation of our guys and see where we think he's going to fit best long term. I don't like flipping guys back and forth. I want to put somebody someplace, let them develop, and get comfortable playing that position. So that's what we plan on doing here.
Some coaches are hesitant to put a lot of starters on special teams. Others figure put your best players out there no matter where they are. What's your thought on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it all starts with what's your philosophy going to be on your teams in terms of, if you've got an elite return guy, then you want to really spend a lot of time getting good at that specific play, kickoff and punt return. So that's the idea, is to improve and get better. If you have an elite guy. And so, we'll kind of see how that stuff plays out. I mean, my idea is, those are the biggest exchanges of field position during any football game or special teams plays. So they're obviously really critical and really important. So we're going to play a lot of our better players, and hopefully there's got enough depth where we have some young guys that are athletic enough and good enough players to help us.
Alex Honey out today. What's he dealing with?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a shoulder deal. It's nothing major. We should expect him back probably in a non-contact role here pretty soon.
The last couple of years, James Crochet's had the benefit of Cortland Sutton and Trey Quinn drawing all this attention. Now, at least on paper, he's the top returning guy. How do you help him navigate through being the focus of a lot of defensive attention?
Yeah, what you have to do is there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with that, and there's a level of consistency and preparation that has to take place when you're moving from kind of a role player to being a central figure in an offense. And so, as much as anything else, it's just about him developing consistency and coming out every day and working and having the mindset that he's going to go out and be a guy that can carry a load for us, and that's a little bit of a transition. It always is, but James is a guy that can do it. I mean, I feel strongly about his ability to be the go-to guy, and he's just got to keep improving and getting better.
Speaking of receivers, Armani Gillespie's on the field a lot. First of all, do you expect him to be eligible this upcoming season? What have you seen from him?
Yeah, we think he will be. I expect him to just continue to get better. I mean, he's a guy that's shown some flashes at times, just has to become a little bit more consistent. But he's done some good things for us. He works hard every day. He's a good kid, and you're going to get his best every day. So I think if he keeps doing that, he's going to keep improving and have a chance to help us.
Another guy who's moved last year, Kevin Johnson, played a lot of safety. You've got him working at corner. Obviously, he's fast, but what do you like about him at that position?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can cover ground. I mean, he can cover ground, and his same thing is just getting more comfortable, I think, there. I think that's his natural position. He's learning the techniques and things he can recover when he gets beat. Now the idea is to not get beat and to get good enough from a technique standpoint, get enough experience where that'll give him the tools that he needs along with the speed to be in good position where he doesn't have to rely on the speed all the time.
You good? Coach, how ready do you think you guys are for next Saturday?
Say it again, how ready?
Yeah. Are you where you like to be?
No, I know this. We're a long way away from being able to play a football game. I mean, we've got a lot of work that needs to happen, but I think it has been a good, productive spring. We're learning. I think this film of the scrimmage will be really valuable teaching film for our guys. So we'll look at this tape on Monday and continue to get a little bit better. And we got 4 days next week to improve. And I expect us to come out and compete next Saturday just like we did today. And we'll have a couple of physical practices this week. And like I said, I expect them to perform well Saturday.